Welcome back to Yesterday Today, the most informative 2 minutes in American politics. October 20th of 2025 marked the federal government's 20th day of ineptitude, with Democrats standing by their promise to protect Medicaid and the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act that more than 22 million Americans rely on for health insurance. Having run out of funding, the National Nuclear Security Administration, which maintains and enhances the safety, security, and effectiveness of the U.S. nuclear weapons stockpile, furloughed roughly 1,400 workers, or almost 79% of its workforce. White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett predicted, however, that the funding lapse is likely to end sometime this week, arguing that the political calculus has changed in the wake of the overwhelmingly peaceable No Kings rallies, which drew more than 7 million demonstrators in thousands of cities and towns across the country in one of the largest single-day protests in American history. In other words, protest works. After the political violence that Trump had been hoping for failed to materialize, he decided that the best way to dispel the criticisms that he fancies himself a king was to personally post a poorly CGI'd video of himself wearing a crown and flying a fighter jet with King Trump stenciled along the side over a major city, splattering liquefied excrement on American citizens. Despite what sources call a peevish, petulant little display of contempt, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit allowed Trump to deploy 200 federalized National Guard troops to the city of Portland, Oregon, overturning the block issued by District Judge Karen Immergut and drawing sharp criticism from Oregon Attorney General Dan Rayfield, who accused Trump of undermining state sovereignty and continuing his long train of abuses and usurpations. Judge Susan Graber, author of the Dissenting opinion, wrote that observers may be tempted to view the government's characterization of Portland as a war zone as merely absurd. But today's decision is not merely absurd. It erodes core constitutional principles, including sovereign states' control over their states' militias, and the people's First Amendment rights to assemble and to object to the government's policies and actions. I strenuously dissent. And that was Yesterday Today. Tune into our next installment, where we'll summarize the headlines of today tomorrow.